Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, September the 23rd, 2024. And as you can probably already see, I have my guest and affiliate marketing partner, Jacqueline Cohen-Baity, here with me for my Facebook Live. I promised you with Jackie. And so, what we're going to talk about today, and I shared it in the Facebook Live event, was Jackie and her book, Adventures of a Comical Salesperson with International Recipes. Now, Jackie, why don't you just kick it off by introducing yourself? And while you do that, I'm going to see if I can share the cover of the cookbook while we talk.
Sure. So my name is Jacqueline Cohen-Baity. I'm also known as Jacquine, which is spelled Jacquine. I'm an international cuisine e-cookbook author with comedy stories in my ebook as well as
Right.
music in my
There it
ebook.
is there.
And I
Right.
created an interactive experience in a kitchen so people in the kitchen can have a great time listening to music in the background, sound effects, comedy in the background, voiceovers that I do, and have get togethers and enjoy cooking together and really have a great experience in the kitchen.
That's awesome because, what's really fun about this book is I was really excited. And I've got to make some recipes out of it because I'm going to be obviously working with you as an affiliate marketer, selling it, right? And so, like, it just seems like a really fun and interesting cookbook. I've had the chance to read through it, but I had a couple of questions for you to start, and one of them was, why did you write this cookbook?
Yeah, so I wrote the cookbook because I want people to have fun and enjoy themselves when they come home from a hard day's work and they're trying to relax. They can be cooking their meals and also at the same time relaxing with music and comedy as well.
Right.
And sometimes I feel like people need that stress reliever. I was in corporate America. I worked in sales, and so, funny things happen along the way. And this
Mm-hmm.
book teaches do's and don'ts of sales. It is only available as an ebook, but it's great as an ebook because it's clickable table of contents. You can click to get to the recipes after you click on table of contents. So if you want Greek
Right.
food one day, Italian food one day, it's great. So EPUB only on Apple devices, but then the EPUB version is flexible but they're both clickable table of contents. So yeah, the reason I wrote it is so people could enjoy their experiences at home after they have their days of work and really get-togethers also with families where they can cook together and have fun with their kids as well.
Okay. Yeah, because what I'm going to do here while we're chatting is I'm going to share the link, and you can explain the link. I'll put it up in the chat because this is a link that's for me as an affiliate marketer. I'm selling the book. I'm paid every time the book is sold. That's not why we're here. That's not the only reason why we're here talking today. But I just want to share that link, and I'll pull it up here in the live because we can see it after, right? And I'm going to share the screen so people can take a look at it. But why don't you take us through a little bit? I had another question for you, and that was, um, what's your background in cooking and book writing? I guess maybe not a lot, right?
Well, I have taken cooking classes. I've traveled to a
Right.
number of countries. So I've taken cooking classes. I have my food handler certificate from the National Restaurant Association, and this is my first ebook.
Right.
So I'm self-published. But yeah, I've been cooking since I'm 15 years old. So I have a lot of experience cooking, really
Right.
fine-tuning recipes, working on spices, perfecting my spices over many years. So a lot of experience, restaurant quality food. I don't over sugar, I don't over salt, I don't over butter. I bring out flavors in foods so that people
Right.
are getting great tastes from vegetables and meats and chicken and fish. And there's fusion recipes. So there's a number of various cuisines from around the world that I cook, many different countries. So if you check out my ebook, you could see, and my website, which is jacquine.com, Jacquine.com, you could see on my cooking tab the various foods that I cook and more.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable, and I think it's a really interesting cookbook. I mean, I had a good chuckle at the cover, and I want you to explain a little bit about the cover and the guy who's on the cover, because it's really important, and we always talk about in marketing how to tell stories. And part of sales, as you know, is telling stories, and you're an experienced salesperson like I am. But you've got a quite a quirky looking character named Harold Stimkin, and I want to know a little bit more about Harold as I read the book more.
Yeah, so I did a movie trailer and I had a professional videographer to film this. I directed the video trailer, but I created this character Harold Stimkin, who has gone through uh, different sales jobs and became an expert after many years and has gone through journeys of different experiences. In the book, people can really relate to the journeys. I was again a sales rep, so it's like my alter ego in some ways. So
Right.
there's different experiences that Harold Stimkin goes through as a sales rep, and
Yeah.
there's very relatable things. And I did sales training in the past for business development managers as well as people who did inside sales. So I know a lot about that. And so, you know, this teaches the do's and don'ts of sales. It's very, very good for business development managers and salespeople. Through a comical perspective, it's definitely not boring because Harold makes this book very fun. I made this book very fun to read because there's different dialogues. It's like vignettes going through the book, like short plays. So there's different characters that I created. Harold talking to different characters and names that I created of these characters as well as their stories. And so that's what I did with this book and Harold Stimkin.
Okay. Okay. Because yeah, that's really important. I did share it. I know you said you didn't want to give away the whole book, but I shared some chunks of what Harold's up to in the chat because we're not going to give any more information away than that. And that sort of leads into my next question: what can people expect to get from this cookbook? I think the best way that they can find out what they're going to expect, I think, is to buy it. I benefited because I got a free copy, but I'm helping you sell it. And we should probably explain a little bit about how the affiliate program works because that's an important
Yeah.
piece. But as I get to know you better and work with you, and obviously develop a relationship with you, I gain more and more confidence about it's going to be a good relationship for us. So, talk to me a little bit about the affiliate program.
Yeah, so the affiliate program that I created, there's actually now 8 companies that joined up to sell the ebook. Ben
Right.
is definitely one of the companies. He's doing a great job. I love his
Thanks, Jackie.
efforts and his marketing. He's building up and building this up. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a
So
great
the way
cookbook.
the affiliate program works is people who join the affiliate program will get a
Yeah.
free ebook with comedy stories and music,
Yeah. Right. Right.
and each affiliate earns commission
Mm-hmm.
per sale once the transactions close. So with their specific link, if someone buys through their link only, then they would get commission on each book through their link.
Yeah, and that's great because I'm newer to affiliate marketing, but I understand the concept. So I've learned a lot about affiliate marketing and the do's and don'ts. And I think you're one of the better people in terms of you're very fair and supporting the people that you want to sell your book. I mean, that comes, I think, from your sales background and your work experience. You're just a very sort of like ethical, upfront person, like I am. And so that's why when I read about Harold's stories too, I know that I've been through those stories. But one of the things I was looking at that I thought was really interesting too, and I wanted to give a reference to it on this show, was the fact that you and I met through the World Referral Network. And so we just had our second World Referral Network Mastery of Networking 1000. And you and I met through World Referral Network's Mastery of 1000. And here again is something that, I don't know if it's in the book, but you could probably talk about it, is how important sales following up is. So you and I followed it. You and I followed up with each other, and look what it's potentially turning into for both of us.
Absolutely. And the affiliates are like my customers. Of course, I always want to be fair to them as I have been and will do. I feel it's important to follow up with affiliates, but also in terms
Right.
of following up with people who say they want to buy the book, because people get busy. Once they're on their phones, they're onto something else after they click on, the link. Then they're, concentrating on something else or something else after that. So
Yeah.
it's important to follow up with people, to find out, when they're ready to purchase, what the time frame is, and just to ask those those questions, and not to be too pushy or anything, not to be pushy at all, but just to be, have that fine line where, you're being respectful of their time, but at the same
Yeah.
time following up to see if they're going to be carrying out the transaction to purchase the book, and just keep creating the value of why it's
Yeah.
important to them, create
Yeah.
that need of why it's important to them, to purchase the book, where they can benefit from the book. Maybe it's for the holidays, maybe it's for a team building type of thing in their corporation, but there's various times of
Right.
year where this book
Right.
can be ebook can be needed.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to, because we've been sort of chatting since we met in April, and then we had the World Referral Network meeting again this weekend, the Mastery of 1000, and you happened to be in my room. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it's a testament that when you're going to join something like the World Referral Network, if you put the time and effort in with a little follow up and networking, it can turn it into something
Yeah,
that's
totally.
good for both businesses, right? And so there's just like there's a lot of possibilities
Yeah,
for you
totally.
and I. We have the music connection as well, which I think was kind of funny, because that was not something I realized until I read the cookbook. And so I wanted to ask you too, because I sent you the list of questions in advance. How did you feel about this? Is like your most exciting project to date?
Yeah, I feel it's my most exciting project to date, because I have combined my skill sets: music,
Yeah.
comedy, and cooking. And on the weekends, I love to cook. I love to experiment with different type of
Right.
spices, and work with them and figure out what new dishes I can cook. So it's all very fun all the time. So
Right.
I just love the fact that I've been able to create something that brings joy to people in a kitchen, where they're having fun. They're experiencing my cookbook. It's an experience, it's an interactive experience in a kitchen, and people are enjoying this cooking themselves, and it really does teach people how to cook. So people who are looking to learn cooking, if they don't cook themselves, rather than ordering in
Right.
meals that could cost, I know in America, sometimes the meals can be $50 to upwards of to $100 a day. So it's hard to be able to afford that every single day. But if you can cook meals where it's flexible, where if you cook, let's say sauce is very flexible, you cook sauce, you can make different things.
I love
Uh,
sauce.
right. And you can make it for meat sauce, right? I
Sauces
know
are one of
meat
my
sauce.
favorite things. I just, especially like after playing a show, or especially after exercising, and I love to, like, those are high energy activities. I just think there's so many possibilities for like with musicians in this cookbook. If you play a show, and I don't know if people know, like, when you play a music show and you put your physical time and effort in it, but then when you play it, it's so physically and mentally draining.
Oh, I do know. I
who
used to do
who
shows
doesn't
10 years ago.
who doesn't want to eat anything but awesome food? Like, it's just, that's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just for
I
me.
do.
Like, over the years, I like like you probably know, if you're out late night after a gig at like midnight, you're like, okay, what's a good restaurant that's open that's not fast food where I can get food?
That's right.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. It just
Some
happens to you because
restaurants
you're
close
burning.
early, and you're like, oh no, the restaurant closed early. I wanted to go to that restaurant.
I
And
want
you're
to, like, a,
thinking
yeah, yeah,
of,
yeah,
and something like, pizza, or, lasagna. And when you make that tomato sauce, you can use it for different things. It can be
yeah. No,
meat
I know,
sauce.
I know, I
It can
know.
be a cream sauce. There's just so many
Oh,
things to do with it.
yeah, and it's interesting too, because I know that where I live in Canada, following different musicians, and you probably know some of them are musicians that are well known throughout the world. They all talk about, and it's like become this thing, especially I think with social media, right? This is the best place to eat in this city, and you're like, oh yeah, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
this is the best place to eat in this restaurant, like after a gig, or like this is the best place to eat in New York, or like this is the best Italian food in New York, or this is the best, um, kind of different kind of food to eat. And I want your impression too, because I think if you're a creative person and you like play music and you cook, there's like this strong parallel because you're creating a recipe, and it's
And
like
I
creating a.
Right, and I think, and that's absolutely true. And even in America too, where there's a favorite restaurant, people tend to go back to their favorite restaurants, just like
Yeah.
people might tend to go back to their favorite recipe. If they cooked something once, they might want to cook it again and again at home. So if something with tomato sauce worked out, they might repeat that process. So there's definitely a correlation.
Yeah, there is, and I just want to share one more thing on the book, and I think we're going to wrap it up here. But I want to thank you for doing this because
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
it's a start of a really good opportunity for both of us, right? And
Yes.
just sort of how we met. And you sent me the cover, so I want to share the cover again before we wrap it up because I think that's really important. And I always chuckle when I see that picture of Harold because I'm assuming, and maybe you can tell us or you don't want to tell us,
It's
but
my alter ego. It's my alter
that's you
ego.
dressed
And
up in costume, right? And I was like
yes, and I
trying to
did
squint and
costumes.
see if it's you or not you, and I was like, that is Jackie, and I'm like,
Right, and if you see the
it's
movie
awesome,
trailer, I played a number of different characters in the movie trailer, and
right?
I put together costumes, for that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, no, I love that, and I'm actually looking. There's a pizza on the front there, isn't there? Is that a
There's
pizza?
that's actually a mushroom wine sauce, tomato
Oh,
sauce. Yeah, but it does look
yeah,
like a pizza, and I
yeah,
designed it to look like that as well.
yeah. Okay, well, thanks, Jackie. I really appreciate you
Yeah,
doing this Facebook Live, and I'm going to share it out on social media.
you're so
Obviously, send it
welcome.
for you to share,
Yeah,
just so people are aware. www.jacquine.com is
Jacqueline.
the website for Jacquine. Thank you. Sorry, I'm still not good at pronouncing the name. So that's Jackie's website. I've shared my affiliate link, which is jacquine.com / and then the reference equals Ben